A Pittsburgh restaurant told JD Vance,
"You know something? Not so for you!"
And hilarity ensued across the internet, and I have the full story for you next. What makes this story even better is the restaurant was more than happy to recently host Kamala Harris, who must have felt like,
I'm queen of the castle.
To rub salt on the JD Vance wound, the Harris account on X trolled him with a video post today that said, "Nothing beats a stop at Primanti Brothers." By now, JD Vance must be regretting his life choices and misses the quiet days of being an obscure state senator.
Serenity now! Serenity now!
And Doug Adams from NBC shared the Kamala HQ post with this explanation. JD Vance intended to make a stop at a Primanti Brothers near Pittsburgh, but when they got there, the campaign was told no cams and the restaurant didn't want to be part of a campaign event. Vance ended up shaking hands outside in the parking lot, and I have that moment on video, including the local Republican chair losing his mind, coming up in a minute. But first, let's have a look at how the Harrison Walsh campaign was given an all-access pass during their visit.
"85 years between the three of us, Peachy. 85 years.
One of my chairs.
Can I get a picture?
Can I get in with those?
Nice to meet you, sir. Oh, amen. It's noble work. Yeah, proud to do it.
Thank you. Yay! Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all so very much.
I have the video of Vance being relegated to the parking lot and sidewalk of the restaurant for you in just a few seconds. But before that, let's enjoy the Harris poke by surfacing some of the best comments. Jude James wrote, "Fantastic trolling. And for the MAGAs who are crying, a business is under no obligation to let any political campaign stump on its property." Exactly commented, "There is a right way to visit businesses and a wrong way. Not everyone wants to be filmed. Vance doesn't care about other people. Did you see him at a donut shop? He was insufferable. Just saying." And now for a local news report of Vance being banished to the outside of the restaurant. Maybe there's a new hashtag in there somewhere if we mash up Vance and banished.
JD Vance is here in Western Pennsylvania this weekend. While here, KDKA's Ricky Sayer looked into this and joins us now from Monroeville.
A Primanti spokesperson tells us this all comes down to some momentary confusion for members of their staff. We're told there was no advance notice that Vance would be coming. They also say they have long hosted political candidates from across the spectrum. The North for Sale's Primanti Brothers has suddenly been thrust into the political spotlight.
Vance was banned from Primanti Brothers. He was banned from making a stop there for political reasons.
A Primanti Brothers spokesperson says what Washington County Republican Party Chair Sean Logue told us is inaccurate. Logue is one of what he says were about 100 Trump supporters who'd been tipped off that Vance planned to make a stop there. They arrived about an hour early.
The manager told patrons, other Republicans, that Vance is not allowed to make a campaign stop at Primanti Brothers. And then when there was pushback to say, wait a second, Kamala Harris just did this a month ago, the response was, well, if he wants to sit down and order food, we can't stop him.
Vance arrived ahead of another campaign stop in Monroeville.
And next thing you know, the manager runs out and tells him that he is not allowed in the restaurant, that he cannot have a campaign stop here. And if he goes into the restaurant, she will call the police and file trespassing charges on him. I think it's absolutely insane.
Many Trump supporters exited the restaurant and began taking pictures with Vance outside. Primanti says Vance and his team were then welcomed into the restaurant where they were able to talk with guests. Logue tells a different story.
Number one, he was not welcomed. And then JD Vance, on his own accord, risking a trespass charge, walked into Primanti's, paid the bill for all of us, and walked out 2 minutes later.
Before leaving, Vance addressed those outside.
Look, I think what happened is she just freaked out a little bit because there were a lot of people and she didn't want to make her restaurant part of a campaign stop. It's all right. Don't hold it against her. She just got a little nervous, but it's a great local business. Let's keep on supporting it.
Primanti says what Vance shared was accurate.
Senator Vance is a true gentleman, and he was being very nice and very gracious, and he was being magnanimous. and he didn't want to cause any other problems. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you that the way Permane Brothers treated me and the other Republicans is absolutely unacceptable, and nowhere in their statement is an apology. Where's my apology, Permane Brothers?
Permane says they are glad what happened was resolved quickly.
In today's political and media landscape, being able to connect with local businesses and voters is a must-have superpower for a candidate. They live under a microscope, and their every move and word is analyzed and broadcasted. JD Vance has been a failure in this department. Day after day, he remains on his heels as a result of stepping in the messes created by himself and his mentor from Mar-a-Lago. And with his very important vice presidential debate coming up with Tim Walz in just a couple of days, let's hope his dedication to disconnection continues. And once the ticket he is on is defeated in November, he pauses for some self-reflection.
No one's a bigger idiot than me.